Good afternoon, it's time for Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today we'll join reporter Michelle Coates on the Business Beat to find out about the economic impact the arts have on Volusia County's economy. Then it's over to health reporter Stephanie Strong, who will tell us about a deadly amoeba lurking in lakes and ponds. And drones are the topic of conversation as we join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio with his guests, Rick Karl, the county's Director of the Aviation and Economic Resource Department, and Pat Anderson, Professor of Aerospace Engineering from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach. We hope you'll stick around for those segments, news, and more coming right up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Technology plays a big role in a company's success these days, and Volusia County government is no exception. The Volusia County Council recently renewed a $1.15 million contract in which the county will purchase personal computers from Pomeroy IT Solutions, a Hebron, Kentucky company, for the next 4 years. Pomeroy will provide PC procurement, setup, installation, removal, disposal, buyback, and warranty. Like most large employers, personal computers and laptops are an integral part of operations at Volusia County. While Pomeroy provides the PCs, the county's information technology staff is responsible for providing a secure and reliable information technology and communications infrastructure for the Volusia County Council, county departments, clerk of the court, court services, judicial system, state attorney's office, and the public defender.
Our staff maintains the software, hardware, and virus protection needed to keep county operations going. We maintain a 24-hour-a-day support desk to provide help to departments and to resolve problems. We work with departments to simplify processes, thereby saving them time and money. We also work with departments to research and implement new systems that automate many manual processes. This helps them save time and provide better service to the public as well as to staff. Our staff is constantly providing training to hundreds of employees throughout the year on how to use new systems that are implemented. And since technology is constantly changing, staff spends a lot of time researching and testing new products and looking for opportunities to offer new and improved services.
In addition to computers, the Information Technology Division also maintains the county's telephone and public safety radio system and provides online interactive maps and geographic analysis. The Florida legislature has approved new requirements for blue permanent disabled parking permits affecting 44,000 people in Volusia County. Effective October 1, any person issued a blue permanent disabled parking permit must renew the permit every 4 years. When doing so, they must provide a certificate of disability signed by a certifying authority, usually a physician, within the last 12 months. Permit holders will not have to pay a renewal fee. Effective now, if your blue permanent disabled parking permit is lost or stolen, a replacement will be issued only if you submit the same documentation required for renewals. The new law does not affect red temporary disabled parking permits or people who have disabled or wheelchair license plates.
You can renew your handicap parking permit at any Volusia County tag office, or you can do it by mail. You just need to remember that when you do renew it, you need to bring your new application from your physician so that you can be issued your new permit. When we send our renewal notices to everyone, we will include the new application for their convenience.
Illegally obtaining or using a permit can result in the loss of the parking permit and carries a potential for criminal penalties. If you see someone misusing a permit, report it to the Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles at 850-617-3803. For more information about parking permits and a list of tag and title offices, you can visit volusia.org/revenue. How would you like to get an up-close and personal look at the inner workings of Volusia County government? Here's your opportunity. Applications are being accepted for the annual Citizens Academy, a hands-on awareness program designed to educate and inform citizens about how county government operates. The 12-week program, which meets from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesdays, will begin August 21st. There's no charge for the program, but applicants are asked to commit to attending to all 12 classes. The Citizens Academy offers a wide range of seminars and workshops showcasing Volusia County government services. Topics include elections, growth management, community service, public protection, property assessments, budgets, and more. Citizens will view county construction projects, visit the Marine Science Center and other county parks, and they'll even get to shadow a county official for a hands-on look at county organization.
And I would encourage anyone who's got an interest in the county, whether it just be because you pay taxes here or whether you want to get more involved, to be a part of the Citizens Academy, because it was a great, wonderful event to be a part of and to learn from. And had a chance to learn where our tax dollars go, how well they're spent, and how diligently the County of Volusia works to enhance every dollar we have and use. The stewardship of that money and the stewardship of caring for their employees and the county we live in was a great learning tool.
Applications are available online at volusia.org/citizensacademy and must be turned in to the Volusia County Manager's Office by July 25th. The Citizens Academy program is limited to 25 participants. Applicants are selected through an interview process, and there is no charge for the program. For more information, you can go to the county's website, volusia.org, and click on Citizens Academy in the drop-down menu.
Hello, I'm Joey Alexander with the Volusia County Council. Did you know we have a turtle and seabird rehabilitation center right here in Volusia County? Since opening in 2002, the Marine Science Center in Ponce Inlet has cared for thousands of sick and injured sea turtles and birds and released many of them back to the sea. The Marine Science Center also has a touch pool, exhibit gallery, and areas where you can watch our specialists caring for marine animals. This unique center is next to the Ponce Inlet Lighthouse. To learn more and plan your day trip, visit marinesciencecenter.com.
The recent Arts and Economic Prosperity 4 study concludes that the nonprofit arts and culture organizations and activities are a multi-million-dollar industry in Volusia County, one that supports hundreds of jobs and generates more than $3 million in local and state government revenue. Michelle Coates with the Business Beat visited the Museum of Arts and Sciences to see things firsthand.
A recent study showed the economic impact across Volusia County for the arts industry is a multi-million-dollar impact. Today we find out more. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat. Nonprofit arts and culture organizations spend millions each year and leverage millions more in additional spending by arts and culture audiences. Spending that pumps revenue into local restaurants, hotels, retail stores, parking garages, and other businesses. Americans for the Arts, a nonprofit organization for advancing the arts in America, conducted the Arts and Economic Prosperity 4 study. Data from 33 of the 55 local nonprofit arts and culture organizations was analyzed. We spoke to Nancy Maddox, Volusia County's manager of cultural and arts.
Americans for the Arts did the study. This is their 4th time that they've done this study. And it's so important because people don't really understand the impact that arts have on the community. So in order for them to really understand what's going on throughout their own community, Volusia County Cultural Council felt it was very necessary for us to be a part of this economic impact study.
When a community attracts cultural tourists, it harnesses economic rewards. A typical arts attendee spends nearly $25 per person per event beyond the cost of admission. The study also indicated that arts tourists tend to stay longer and spend more than the average visitor. This study indicated that 29% of local arts events attendees are from out of town, and their spending is 142% more than their local counterparts. Non-locals spend $31.77 versus locals who spend just $13.13.
This study provides information on how many attend the functions around the county. It tells us how many people go out to dinner, how many people buy souvenirs, how many people stay overnight an extra day. This gives us all that information.
The study also showed that in 2010, more than 4,500 volunteers donated nearly 300,000 volunteer hours to Volusia County nonprofit arts and culture organizations. Based on the average hourly volunteer dollar value of $21, the aggregate value of those volunteer hours is over $6.3 million.
Without the volunteers, most of these organizations would not even exist. And a great example is the Little Theater in New Smyrna Beach. It is 100% volunteers, yet they reach hundreds and hundreds of people and hundreds of kids all year long. So without them, we would not exist. And they do it because this is a chance for them to give back to their community, and they love what they're doing.
The local arts and cultural community is diverse in Volusia County, ranging from the African American Museum of the Arts to Cinematique of Daytona Beach, to the Daytona Beach Symphony Society and DeBerry Hall Historic Site, and more. 60% of the nonprofit arts and cultural organizations participated in this study.
Volusia County has a very diverse group of organizations throughout the county. We have anywhere the Museum of Arts and Sciences, where we are today, to Atlantic Center of the Arts, which is bringing artists from all over the world to study their own discipline. There's something for anyone to enjoy.
Another interesting point from the study is the amount of people who would travel to attend a similar cultural experience. More than half of locals would travel outside the area for such an event, and more than 65% of non-local attendees reported the same. There's a wealth of arts and culture right outside our door.
This study shows that the arts and culture world truly means business. Thanks for joining us today on the Business Beat. I'm Michelle Coates.
To find out more about the recent Arts and Economic Prosperity Study, you can visit americansforthearts.org for more information. Beautiful, hot Florida days always make local ponds and lakes seem inviting, but what many people don't know is that a deadly amoeba makes its home in those refreshing waters. An amoeba lives in the sediment of fresh water and can infect the brain of any person who contracts it. Today on Community Health Matters, Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong brings you more details on how to stay safe and prevent infection.
The Volusia County Health Department advises everyone to be aware of the dangers of swimming in lakes, ponds, and rivers, but especially of stirring up the sediment in shallow water or diving and swimming underwater, which can enable the amoeba to enter the nose and possibly infect the brain. Let's find out more about this. Naegleria is a big name for a very tiny parasite, the amoeba, that is usually found in freshwater bodies such as lakes and ponds. Naegleria fowleri causes an infection that develops when these parasites enter the human body through the nose, making their way to the brain. This infection causes a rare but life-threatening disease called primary amoebic melanoencephalitis, or PAM.
PAM is an amoeba infection, and the amoeba actually dwell in our lakes and ponds and rivers in the bottom of the river in the sediment. And when the temperature of our water reaches 80 degrees, these amoeba become infective and very active. So it's very dangerous to swim in our ponds and lakes that are small and hot and stagnant at this time of year.
Symptoms of PAM can start as quickly as 1 to 14 days after infection. Symptoms include headache, fever, nausea, vomiting, and stiff neck. Seek immediate medical attention if you have any of these symptoms after swimming in fresh water. As the disease moves into the brain, it causes swelling, which leads to confusion, lack of attention, loss of balance, seizure, and hallucinations. This disease usually results in death within 3 to 7 days.
This is a very unusual, uncommon infection, and yet those who are infected are usually the young, and it's almost universally fatal. So it's an infection that you need to avoid.
The safest way to prevent infection: don't swim or jump into warm, stagnant fresh water, such as ponds or warm water discharge pools or unchlorinated swimming pools. Don't swim in polluted water. Don't swim in areas posted as no swimming. And hold your nose or use nose plugs when jumping or diving into water. The risk increases during hot summer months. Avoid swimming or jumping into these bodies of fresh water during the hot summer months when the water is warm and the water levels are low. As temperatures rise, so does your chance of becoming infected. This PAM infection cannot be spread from person to person. You may get more facts at www.myfloridaeh.com, www.cdc.gov, or you may also visit the Volusia County Health Department's website at www.volusiahealth.com. For Volusia Magazine and on behalf of the Volusia County Health Department, your guide to better health, I'm Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong.
If you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. Well, it's time to head into the studio to join Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest for discussion about this important topic.
Well, thanks, Amber, and hi, everyone. You know, most of us, when we think about those unmanned drones, probably think of those planes as military spy tools or bomb-dropping aircraft, but drones have the potential to become much more commonly used for a wide variety of purposes. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach is actively involved in drone research and now is partnering with Volusia County on a test project that has the potential to grow into significant economic plus for the region. With us in the studio today for more on this is Rick Karl, the county's Director of Aviation and Economic Resources, and Pat Anderson. He's a professor of aerospace engineering from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach. Thank you both very much for being with us. Pat, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. It's a good project.
And Rick, thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Dave.
You know, I used the term drone during the opening, and actually that's, I guess, a term that most people commonly think of when we think of these unmanned aircraft, but you would like to call them something else, huh?
It has changed over the years. Historically, they've been called drones, and still in the public that is what you hear quite a bit. But UAS is the more common term now, which stands for Unmanned Aerial Systems. And that's what the FAA likes to refer to these vehicles as now. The drones are more what I think we commonly saw in Vietnam,
right.
Those type of vehicles. The vehicles that we're working on now are smarter and more diverse and do many more things than just the term drone brings to mind.
You know, I know absolutely nothing about these drones other than what you just described. I commonly think of them as military type aircraft. How do you fly one of these things?
Well, they fly themselves. That's what makes them unmanned aerial vehicles. So it's more of a systems operator that's guiding it through a course rather than the stick and rudder pilot skills that you saw of latter days. The first drones that were the Vietnam era type vehicles, you would have a camera and a pilot that is sitting in a room that would fly the aircraft much like old stick and rudder pilots would.
Right.
More commonly now, the technology is moving towards dragging icons out onto a map and pre-selecting a course, and the vehicle itself figures out the old stick and rudder stuff that the pilot used to do in order for the vehicle to get around whatever course or whatever it's trying to do.
Wow. I don't know why a lot of people probably think of this, but I think of the guys that go to the airport with the remote control planes and they're standing there with an antenna sticking up, and that is not what we're talking about here.
It's not, and now you'll see a computer in front of the person. And safety is our number one thing, so we do have backups to all of these systems, and this is regulated by the Federal Aviation Administration. But computers are flying the airplanes, but we do have backups that we can pull it back to a piloted mode just to make it safe for the flying public.
Now, what do you think the potential use of these unmanned aircraft is? I mean, obviously we're beyond the military application here. Where do you think this is headed?
Well, there's lots of applications for unmanned vehicles, all the way up to large transport categories and all the way down to small vehicles that could fly, say, through a window. An application of a small vehicle might be one that would help firefighters. So it might be able to fly through a window of a house that's on fire and give them a lay of the land and show a firefighter what's inside that he might not be able to see ordinarily. And that goes all the way up from that small vehicle to, say, transport category cargo airplanes, which are certainly not right around the corner, but years from now, that might be where this heads, where big vehicles might be able to fly cargo around mostly autonomously. And there's everything in between that as well, even for agriculture, looking at crops, knowing when to put fertilizers down and knowing what the moisture content of certain crops are, to going out at the Galapagos. We have a project at Embry-Riddle with the Galapagos Islands right now where we're looking for environmental poachers. It's a large area, and these vehicles can stay airborne for days at a time, so it's a lot more cost effective to have these little vehicles out there patrolling around for days on end instead of putting a human up there to do it.
Unbelievable. That's fascinating. Hey, Rick, turning to you, this seems like kind of an odd marriage for Volusia County government. It's not the jail, it's not the environmental management. What is county government's connection with all of this?
Well, it is a little outside the box, Dave.
That's what I'm thinking,
For an airport director to apply to fly unmanned systems, but Embry-Riddle is a very important partner for our community and for the airport. They're a major tenant at the airport, and so we work very closely with Embry-Riddle to develop real programs that will create jobs, high-paying jobs, and that's our goal. And this particular program here, in order to fly an unmanned system in the National Airspace System, you have to either apply for a certificate of authorization and waiver and that has to be a public agency, or you can get a special airworthiness certificate, which the latter is much more complicated and much more involved. If you're developing a large aircraft, that's what you would do. But the certificate of authorization and waiver requires a public agency to be involved. The FAA requires it. The FAA is very, very involved with safety. They really want to make sure that any testing is done over remote areas, and the application that we will be making on behalf of Embry-Riddle, in partnership with Embry-Riddle, will specify where the airplane will fly, what time of day, all the parameters, the height restrictions. It's all specified in the application, and there's an application for each individual application that we fly. And so it will. The hope is that we can compete with other universities, like the University of North Dakota, who's a very already has an unmanned system, and they have a lot of open space, unregulated airspace that they can use. So by having the county as a partner, we can facilitate and provide the infrastructure for Embry-Riddle to innovate and bring other research and development to the area.
Now, the county council has I guess, given its authority to go ahead and make this application. Is that correct?
That's correct. They've authorized me as the director of aviation to make the application for this one vehicle. The one we're talking about is a small. It's basically an electric-powered model airplane, and that's not. It's the airframe is not what's significant. It's all the components that make it autonomous.
I see.
It's high science that goes into this. Embry-Riddle is the leading aviation aeronautical university on the planet, and we've got all the brain power here trying to to innovate and create so many more technologies out of just, it's not just flying a pattern, it's research dealing with aircraft avoidance, detection and avoidance, it's navigation, it deals with weather. There's so many applications are built around this. And as you know, we've got the next-gen test bed facility at the airport, and unmanned systems are an important part of next-gen. It's leading the way and involving a great many technologies that are coming out of the next gen are involved with unmanned systems.
I suppose it would probably be accurate to say then that the county's ultimate goal through the airport and so forth is economic prosperity, is company creation, job creation, that sort of thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Embry-Riddle is an area, synergy, has a huge synergy here of attracting a lot of talent, and what we want to do is to provide that infrastructure, if you will, the ability to come here and test unmanned systems and to do other innovative things here, and know that you have the community and the county council support. County council has been very supportive of Embry-Riddle over the years, and this is the beginning of a program that I hope will generate a large number of jobs in the long run.
You know, as I understand it, and either one of you can answer this, but as I understand it, the concept that the county council approved was for aerospace, I guess, up in northwest Volusia County. Maybe Rick, you'd be better to answer this. Up in the Lake George area, which is sort of a remote area. What's, you know, for anyone that might have a safety concern or noise concern or that sort of thing, what's the answer there?
Well, first of all, the FAA is the entity that's giving us permission. They're very concerned about safety, so they're not going to. The FAA wouldn't permit us to get a license to fly it in a populated area where there was high traffic, and we're definitely not flying out of the airport or any airport. This vehicle is going to be it's a hand launched vehicle that's going to be flown in a remote area. We are looking at the Lake George area with the Department of Defense as a partner trying to navigate around that area. So it will be restrictions that are all based on safety.
So it's just, so in other words, there shouldn't be any concern on the part of any neighbors up there.
And as I said, this particular aircraft has an electric motor. It doesn't make a lot of noise, and it's going to be flown in remote areas.
Right. How long do we think it'll take the federal government to take a look at the application and hopefully approve it?
Well, I would hope it would be 6 months to a year.
Wow. Well, this is just, I guess, in the way the kids said, this is way cool. This is a whole new dimension for county government. And of course, Rick, you know, you're very close to Embry-Riddle, and what's going on at that university is just incredible.
It's really a phenomenal university, and we're really proud to have them as our airport tenant and partner in these types of ventures.
Well, I want to thank you both very much for being with us. This is obviously a very important subject. Pat Anderson, Professor of Aerospace Engineering at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Pat, thanks for sharing the information with us.
Thank you.
And Rick Karl, Director of Aviation and Economic Resources at the county. Thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. You can also watch the show online. Just go to volusia.org and click on the Volusia Magazine icon. And we hope you won't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.